So good day, ma'am. My name is Jennifer D. Alba and I am the first reporter of the group. And the chosen topic is the Eastern and Western thoughts. There are four major differences between Eastern and Western philosophies. Western individualism and the Eastern is collectivism. Western analytical thinking while Eastern is holistic thinking. Western idea of dealing with conflict and the Eastern idea of being harmony. And the differences of them is ang Western is more idealism and the Western is pragmatism. So, explanation sa Western thoughts. Gitawag sila og mga individualism. Sila ang mga gitawag na self-made man. Kumbaga, mga independent nga mga tao nga mas mubase sila sa kanang kung unsa ang ilang kalipay ug unsa ang ilang kanang pagtuo. Pero samtang kon sila mobe sila sa ilang pagtuo, gitawag pud sila og mga analytical thinking. Kumbaga, mas mo agi sila og kanang or gi-influence sila like mo tuo sila og kanang mga scientific method. Una sila nga mo understand jud sa kalibutan, murag kanang kagado anay og mga research. Una jud sila mo tuo sa usa ka butang. And idealism, maong gitawag sila idealism is that the belief that reality is basically composed of mind and their ideas rather than matter. So mo ta ko giingon, kargado sila og kanang pagtuo pero ang ilang pagtuo is kanang goddess gani more on religious pero mukandak anay sila og mga research. Una sila mas mutuog yun sa ilang own feet, mga independent ng pagkatao. While diri sad sa Eastern, gitawag pud sila og mga collectivism. Nganong gitawag sila og collectivism? Kay beside nga ang Western is mga independent nga mga tao, kanisid sila is dependent. Kumbaga ang ilang need and feelings are most closely related to others. Mas kanang mubasi ang ilang pagtuo sa kadaghanan. Murag nakakuan ra sila ba, murag sa pagsayod-sayod kanang mga sinauna, kanang mga mas naguna pa nila, mas tuuhan pa nila, ana. Mo ilang pagtuo, mga pagtuo sa mga kinaraan. Yeah. Eastern is holistic thinking sad, relies in multidimensional understanding of reality. So mo ta ako giingon, multidimensional. Mas mutuo sila og kanang murag majority, mas kadaghanan, mas mutuo sila ana. And then they are pragmatism. Kung ang Western is kanang mutuo sila og mga scientific method, ang aripod sa Eastern is they are practical over theory-based teaching learning process. Murag mas mutuo sila sa mga kinaagi kaysa mas tuuhan nila ang kanang mga mag-conduct anay og research. Mas tuuhan nila ang kanang mga panghitabo sa mga sauna, kanang mga ingana. So, direta sa roots. Western philosophy has its roots in Athens, Rome, and Judeo-Christianity, while Eastern philosophy is derived from Confucianism, Taoism, and Mahayana Buddhism. As Greek and Latin are to Western civilization, so classical Chinese is to East Asian civilization. So, di ba ang Western philosophy is nairot sa Athens, Rome, and Judeo-Christianity. Muna siya kay muna sila mga simbahan, muna sila mga religious na pagkuhan. Then sa Eastern philosophy sad is derived from Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. So, Confucianism is a Chinese belief that focuses on the importance of personal ethics and morality. In short, having a good moral character. And ang meaning sad sa Taoism is a religion and a philosophy from ancient China hold that human and animal should live in balance with the Tao or the universe. So, ari pud ta sa Mahayana Buddhism, which means that the right path of a follower will lead to the redemption of all human being, meaning that each person is responsible for its own fate. So, Muna siya tanan. So, kumbaga, ang Western individualism is kanang religious and goddess ang iyang pagtuo with scientific method, and ang Eastern sad is mostly traditional siya ang iyang pagtuo. So, muna siya, and followed by my co-member, next reporter.
So for the continuation of our discussion, we talk about Western individualism. So what is Western individualism? In Western culture, they usually described as individualistic, and the people are characterized as having an independent view of themselves. As individual, they seen as consisting primarily of person attributes such as personality traits, belief, and attitudes. So in Western individualism, they are seeing themselves as individual or being independent. They are not depending to other people or other country. For the word independent, so they are independent for their beliefs and attitude, their traits. So in Western thoughts, we all know that Western thoughts are believe with God and Goddess. We have there the story of Prometheus. So in the Greco-Roman, the tradition, the image of Prometheus can powerfully illustrate the struggle for individual freedom. Prometheus had gone against Zeus, the all-powerful god who ruled the sky from Mount Olympus. Prometheus annoyed Zeus by creating human beings to protect the human beings from Zeus. He stole the fire from Hephaestus, the blacksmith god, and gave it to the human beings. This agreed Zeus to extend that Prometheus was chained to a rock and eagle for out his liver. This story, during the Titanomachy, he sided with Zeus. However, after helping Zeus to achieve victory in the war, he started to quarrel with him over his supposed unfair treatment of humanity. This led to Prometheus stealing the fire from the gods and gifting to the humanity, which resulted in Zeus chaining Prometheus and sending an eagle to prey upon his continually regenerating liver. After some time, Zeus' son Heraclius set the eagle and freed Prometheus, and the Titan subsequently made from peace with his savior father. So those are the story of Prometheus about the Greco-Roman tradition.
Western individualism. In European consciousness, Prometheus had become the hero who defied the patriarchy in the name of individual freedom, who brought light into our darkness. He was the savior who sacrificed himself for the sake of mankind, the benefactor who brought the gift of technology down from heaven, the teacher who taught us that we are not at the whims of the gods anymore, who showed us how to use our intelligence to take control of the world. So, Prometheus gives humankind a gift that opens our consciousness as a human. When at time he defied patriarchy, he gives power to everyone, especially the woman. And also patriarchy or gender inequality is a never-ending issue that is present from then until now. Still, some women were taught to act based on the norms they have, and the equality that should be given to everyone was neglected. But sadly, this is inevitable because it has been a part of what we call culture discrimination. While defying patriarchy is a time that empowerment to everyone is given, and we have our own mind who can protect the world to better the present and the future. And also, Western cultures identified Prometheus as the knowledge in science. He teaches us on how to care mankind through writings, agriculture, medicine, and science. And as a human today, we will be like him who always think about the future.
Western individualism. The Christian tradition has also reinforced the notion of individual rights. The Bible speaks of God creating man in his own image and letting him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and every creeping things that creeps upon the earth.
Good day everyone, good day ma'am. I'm Stephen Laurente Zilidio, BE Scream 1 Section R from the Molaan Nagor Leyte. My topic is all about Eastern collectivism. What is Eastern collectivism? In general terms, the image of Eastern culture is coined with the concept of the collectivism. The individual has no identity other than group identities, basically identifying himself as a member of the family or community. Because of this, conditions individual is dependent on families, neighborhoods, and associations. By comparison, the Chinese live in the world of obligations. Obligation to serve the ruler, obligation to work for the family, obligation to obey elders, obligation to help relatives, obligation to do well to glorify the name of ancestors, obligation to defend the country in times of trouble, an obligation to oneself to cultivate one's own virtue. It would also seem that rights only belong to one individual, the Son of Heaven. Ang pasabot ining kuan, the Eastern collectivism, kay ang Chinese nagpuyo sa kalibutan nga daghay obligasyon parehara gyapon sa ato na taga-Asia. Obligation to serve the ruler, na sila obligation to serve sila sa ilang taas. Obligation to work for the family, na sila obligation na mo trabaho sila para sa ilang pamilya. Obligation to obey the elders, obligation mo sunod sila sa ilang mga maguwang. Obligation to help their relatives, obligation sa mutabang sila sa ilang mga pamilya. Obligation to do well to glorify the ancestors, na sila obligation to glorify sa ilang mga ancestors o kanunuan. Obligation to defend their country in times of trouble. Naga sila obligation sa mo defend sila sa ilang country in times of trouble, kay kinahanglan kong Chinese kan North Korea mga kanang kuan ni sila communist country ni sila, dapat gid sa ila nga nag usa sila mo kuan nagud na sila mo solve na sila usa ka mo ang himog na sila army sa pila ba na katuig na mo serbisyo sila sa ilang nasod, usa pa sila mo present sa ilang kurso o no kuan vision to oneself to cultivate one's own virtue. It also seems that rights only belong to one individual, the Son of Heaven. An example of the Eastern collectivism in the Philippines is the collectivist society, in which needs of the family are prioritized over the needs of the individual. Many Filipinos celebrate traditional festas known as barrio festas to commemorate the feast days of patron saints host of Filipino students in USA. Ang kuan akong example ini kay ang atong nasod daghan tay mga traditional festivities. Kaya ang fiesta sa atong mga kabaryo-baryuhan kay naman na mga tinuan nga na patron kanang kuan fiesta mo na siya. Nasunod nato karon sa atong mga kanunuan. And that's all for today, and have a nice day. Stay safe and God bless.
Fragmentary and holistic. According to Fritjof Capra, the emphasis of rational thought is epitomized in Descartes' celebrated statement cognito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. This has forcefully encouraged Westerners to equate their identity with the rational mind rather than with the whole organism. This division between the mind and the body has led to a view of the universe as a mechanical system consisting of separate objects, which in turn were reduced to fundamental building blocks whose properties and interactions were thought to completely determine all the natural phenomena. Um, Fragmentary and holistic, most of our sciences are still based on this on this mechanistic view of the world, and it continues to have a huge impact on our lives. Academic fields have fractured, and this has been used as a justification for considering the cosmos as if it were made up separate portions that could be exploited by various groups.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ako dahil si Stephanie Rimarata, BS Criminology 1, Section R. So, muna akong topic, ma'am. This mechanistic conception of the whole world is still the basis of most of our sciences and continues to have a tremendous influence in our lives. Academic discipline become fragmented, and this has served as rationale for treating the universe as if it is consisted of separated parts to be exploited by different groups. So, every different concept in the world can be based on the continuation of new growth of scientific study over the time. So, sa nagtikadugayang panahon, ang mga nagkalahi-lahi na mga mechanistic conception of the whole world is nagbasig hapon sa science. Bisan pa sa nagkalahi-lahi nila nga philosophy, beliefs, concepts, through that, pwede tayong makakuha og mga maayong mga influensya na pwede nato i-apply in our daily lives. Like the different traditions, beliefs, philosophies, and so on, in each part of the world that consists of separated parts of knowledge, we can compare like the universe that is divided into many galaxies that has its own individual beauty, same as each of its knowledge, and in the expansion of knowledge of every mechanistic concepts of the world towards science. So, maulang to siya, ma'am, and thank you.
Eastern philosophy. The essence of the Eastern worldview is the awareness of the unity and the mutual relation of all things and events. The experience of all phenomena in the world as manifestation of a basic oneness. All things are same as independent and inseparable parts of cosmic whole as different manifestation of the same ultimate reality. The Eastern tradition refers to this ultimate indivisible reality as Brahman in Hinduism, Dharmakaya in Buddhism, and Tao in Taoism.
So, good day, ma'am. I'm James C. Siligio, under at Section R, and today I will be discuss the conflict and harmony. So, the marches of Europe history saw change as a rising form, a dialectic interplay of opposites, hence class struggle and conflict. Western civilization based itself on the struggle between the good and evil, God and Satan, or Psyche and Cupid. So, ang Western civilization is nag-struggle sila between the good and bad. So, Eastern philosophical thoughts is based on this notion of the yin and the yang. So, ang Eastern philosophical thoughts is nag-base sila sa yin and yang nga thoughts. So, Pratap Kafra describes the yang as the strong male. So, ang yang kuno nga
describe siya nga as a strong nga lalaki nga creative power associated with heaven, while yin is the dark receptive female and maternal elements. So ang yin is nag-describe siya sa babae nga and the maternal elements. So that's all, ma'am, and thank you.
Conflict and harmony. Yin, the dark yin and the bright yang are arranged in a symmetrical manner. They are dynamic. A rotating symmetry suggesting purposely a continuous cyclic movement. The two dots in the diagram symbolize the idea that each one of the forces reaches its extreme. It contains in itself the seed of the opposite. Life, says Chuang-Tzu, is the blended harmony of the yin and the yang. Taoism permits the economic and social lives of the Chinese through geomancy, qigong, Chinese medicine, and idol worship. As Chan observes, almost every hotel, office, and commercial building that has gone up within the last decade adheres to certain principles of geomancy of Feng Shui, the art and the science of harmonizing man and nature. The dark yin and the bright yang. In ancient Chinese philosophy, yin and yang literal meaning dark or light, negative or positive. Yin or dark on the right and yang light on the left, arranged in a symmetrical manner. Yin and yang create each other, control each other, and transform into each other. They are dynamic, which means constant change of or motion suggesting continuous cyclic movement. Two dots symbolize the idea that each one of the forces reaches its extreme. Chuang-Tzu is the blended harmony of yin and yang. Chuang-Tzu, Master Zhuang, late 4th century BC. Zhuangzi, commonly known as Zhuangzi, was an influential Chinese philosopher who lived around the 4th century BC during the Warring State period, a period corresponding to the summit of Chinese philosophy, the 100 School of Thought.
Idealism and pragmatism. The Western idea of democracy does not fit into the Eastern's scheme of things easily. In an interview by the Daily Telegraph on 16 October 1889, the former Prime Minister remarked that, "I think in a mainly Chinese dictatorate, the idea of a loyal opposition and an alternative government does not come easily. You either for or against the government." Pragmatism and idealism are two opposing philosophical approaches. Pragmatism is a philosophical approach that evaluates theories or beliefs in terms in the success of their practical application. Idealism, on the other hand, refers to any philosophy that asserts that reality is mentally constructed or immaterial.
So for the continuation of the topic of idealism and pragmatism, we have heard a statement. The pragmatism of the is exemplified in the way of Confucianism has been used to emphasize in order through social hierarchy and the roles and conventions. Taoism provided the meaning of life and thus complement Confucianism. So the teacher that's seen is in the way of Confucianism in order to emphasize the group of people or their status or the hierarchy. And also the Confucianism of social hierarchy where a person existence is relational extending from his family, social and country. It is the idea that the group of people are characterized. It is a role to role. The specific duties were prescribed to each of the participants. in these sets of relationships, we're the living stand as a son to their descent family. Example are family to son, so the duties of father to his son, and also the husband to his wife, the duties of the husband to his wife, the elder brother to younger, so the duties of elder brother to her younger sister or brother. So those are the example of Confucianistic of social hierarchy. This statement are the example of idealism and pragmatism. We are hoping that you learn about our topics, the self in Western and Eastern thoughts. That's all. Thank you.